expat in Korea and do some hobby stuff. And part of that includes FDM 3D printing with the Creality K2 Plus. And yeah, we're doing a pro print. And this is the first super long print that we've done, and it was over 15 hours. So what were the results? That is the question. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take a look and see how this thing turned out. So I guess we could go ahead and do this. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. So there it is. It looks very interesting. Maybe we could turn the power on. This finished at like midnight last night, and yeah, that gives you a hint about what that is. But that's a pretty decent little print we got here. And we're looking at, let's see, it's about 9 1/4 inches. So yeah, that is a huge print. And what we're going to end up doing is we'll pull this. Oh, good Lord. And there it is. Look at that. Yes, we have printed the Raven. Now we'll go to the chair, and we will check out the Raven. I've got so much crap on my desk. So let's see if we can get you all in here somehow. I really need to clean. Get off of that stuff. Alrighty. Yeah. So with that, let's get back to it. So this is the Raven. Yeah, that turned out pretty good, and the nice Raven. So now the question is, we need to get this off the build plate, and we need to be very careful because this was printed in a layer height of 0.12. I should have done it with 0.2, but I didn't. I don't know what I was thinking. Let me get a scraper. So yeah, not sure what I was thinking. I guess I needed the challenge, but I think with a little bit of prying, we can get this off here. A little bit of minor adjustments. Don't want to just rip this thing off. So far, ooh, there we go. There's the Raven. Let me go ahead and put this back. Like I said, this is the 15. Originally it said it was a 17-hour print, but yeah, it ended up coming in at 15, I think 15 hours and 26 minutes, something like that. So that was kind of nice. but it finished up at midnight last night. So it was like, okay, I'm going to, just wanted to make sure it printed out. And then as soon as the printer stopped, I was like, okay, we're done. We're going to bed. So now we have the joy of, and I think I'm going to need a cutter. So let's get a couple of things here. We'll get some side cutters, we'll get some stuff like that, because I definitely want to get to this and not screw it up. And with the 0.12, you can see just how delicate that is. Like I said, I was like, oh, let's save on filament, and printed it, you know, 0.12. Wow, that's coming off nice. You can see that is good. Nice. Just a little at a time. And this was printed in Creality Hyper PLA with the RFID chip. So in other words, when you put the spool into the machine, it automatically knows what it is. And so you don't have to enter in any information. I mean, it's not a big deal to do that, but it is nice to be able to, you know, just put it in there and forget it. And just looking at some of this stuff, it would be better. We just kind of do little pieces at a time. Look at this. That is going to be good. If I don't screw anything up. It's amazing how close it comes to the model, but it doesn't attach to it. That is kind of wild. And I used all the stock settings. Minus, I did do a flow rate. And adjusted the profile, I think, by 1 for the flow rate. Default was 100, and when I did the test, it said I needed to reduce it by 1. So flow rate is 99, which is kind of wild. I'm wondering. There we go. Look at that. That is pretty wild. bad. So I think what we can end up doing is kind of do some surgical removal, especially with these organic tree supports, since it's really cool how that works. How it starts out with a trunk and then it just branches out. Amazing. So I think to help with that, I think we can take it off by sections. You got to be careful of these feet because these legs are really small. So with that, we got the brim. That's what's holding it. Some people printed this without the brim, but for me, I was a little nervous about that, especially around these feet, since you had the feet and then you had the tail, which doesn't even come. But with the brim, I figured, you know, well, let's add a brim in there just in case. So, let's see. Sorry. Nice. Get rid of this here. But at 0.012 layer line, that is thin stuff. So this is. Like how this is coming off. I imagine with the 0.2, look at that. And this model, if you look under, I can't remember exactly where I got it. It was either going to be like, I think it was printables, and the guy who did it, it's free model. Yeah, it started. Continue on with the feet. You can see some of the how that turned out on the bottom, but as far as the top, I mean, look at that. FDM Printing. I think we'll have to get some cutters and clean up the feet because those are going to be a little problematic, you think? but it's going to be sitting, so I'm not too concerned about that. And the tail comes down to here. No, actually it comes down further. So this is really a big model. Wow. I just need to... Been looking over some other printers. Of course, I just got the K2 Plus, and I'm already looking at other printers. What are the odds? Some people are like, oh, you got to get the Creality High. I've seen some reviews on that, and people are having problems with them. Of course, it's a brand new printer, so you usually get that. But yeah, I think I'll hold off on printers. But I will say I was looking at the Prusa Core 1, which looked really, really interesting. That looks to be a good printer. And the thing about Prusa is their printers, you know they're going to support them for the long haul. So that's kind of a given. So that is a consideration. Then Bambu Labs is coming out. They just revealed their H2D, and I think that's coming out on the more information about that on the 25th of this month. So that should be an interesting little deal. But honestly, I don't know about that. You know, it's got the 2 print heads on there, which has been done before. But honestly, I don't know if that's going to be enough to really sway a lot of people to do that. I don't know if that's going to be a big game changer, because if you're doing multi-material printing, then you know you're gonna, well, that'll tear up your fingernails. You know, if you're really doing a lot of color changing printing, then really it's going to come down to, you know, you might as well as get the Prusa XL with the 5 tool heads. So I don't really see the big deal with the two tool heads, personally. I just don't see that. And it does have a larger build area with the Bambu H2D, but honestly, I thought it was going to be bigger. Isn't that what they all say? You know, oh, I thought it was going to be bigger. So, man, this is going to be rough. So I wasn't too impressed with the size of the H2D. But the thing that Bambu has going for it is the Bambu's work. But with their recent, locking down their system and all that stuff, I don't know if that's going to be enough to turn people around. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Man, this is going to be really, really interesting. Oh, here we go. It's like an onion. You need layers. looks just ugly. All of this is support, and then it just runs so close into there. It's just crazy. And it's all black, so now it's getting hard to tell what's a support and what isn't. Because these feathers come down, and it's like, is it really a feather, or, okay, there we go, a little bit better. So yeah, I don't know if the Bambu thing is going to be enough. H2D. I mean, they'll make their money on it, I think, but I don't think it's going to be as great as everybody thought or hoped it would be. Gee whiz. That is rough. This is getting to get bare. Something to be said for, I saw an article talking about how they do water-soluble supports. So in other words, of course your print would take a long time. Gee whiz. This is getting to be a bear. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Wow. Yeah, you can see how that was crazy. And we still got a bunch in there. I think if we dissect this, take this apart piece by piece. But yeah, the bamboo looks interesting. I mean, not that interesting. The Prusa core one looks interesting, but then you have the Centauri carbon, which that is kind of an interesting little beast too. So it seems to be that a lot of people are trying to catch up to Bambu by putting out those type of style machines that run and compete with the X1C. So, yeah. So that'll be, that's a consideration as well. So, yay. See how, I mean, it was just so close into that. But it's still a support, but it's just so packed in there. You definitely have to be careful with this. So what helps with these tree supports and the way that they're made, that you can put your plier in there and then you can pull out and you can get a bunch of supports. So in other words, kind of like you have something like this, and then what you can end up doing is putting your plier, your tool, and then you can pull, and that makes things a little easier. So this is a whole learning process here. Oh, look at that. Yay. Still got, is that a support? I think so. If that's a feather or if that's if that is an actual we got some little tiny pieces. We need to get out, but for the most part, I think we're good. So there is our Raven. So yeah, let's take a closer look at this. Turn all the lights on. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, look at that. That is some good detail. And the Raven turned out good. And again, the 0.12 layer lines turned out really nice. That is just looks good. I like that. And yeah, 15 hours and 20 some odd minutes. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. So the question is, where are we going to put this baby? It's going to be the interesting thing. I'm not sure. And I think what I'll end up doing is I'll paint this. I'll look at some colors and stuff and see if we can, maybe I'll do red or green for the eyes because we got those there. And maybe do some dry brushing to highlight instead of having just all black. We could do some dry brushing and get some colors on the edges of some of this, and to really kind of to bring some depth into this guy. But yeah, so there's the Raven, and there's the supports. So yeah, there it is. Support. Interesting. And it's just, I mean, you can see how thin that is. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Focus. Yeah. But yeah, look at that. That came out really, really nice. I'm pleased with this. Very pleased. And then if you look on the bottom, has that frosted texture plate on there. So that's what we have there. I got to clean up the feet a little bit. But yeah, that is nice. I like that. Yeah, that definitely looks good. First big print of the K2 Plus. And it'll be interesting to paint that baby up, and I'll have to look at some pictures and see what we can do, because I do a little bit of painting. Of course, you can't tell by, all of the stuff that I need to paint. That needs painted, that needs painted, that needs painted. All of these guys need painted, and all of those need painted, all of those need painted, and all of those need painted. And I think I've got even one up there that needs painted as well. So yeah, I don't need to print anymore. and and these guys, I mean, so now I'm just kind of rambling. This is I just finished up doing this guy and testing out an airbrush, and that he turned out really good. So we got the shadow effect there. So it'll be really interesting to see how he turns out. Now this is resin printing, but yeah, the details are insane with resin printing. But with that, the FDM printing, that is insane in itself too. So, and trying to, let's see, I wonder how tall that is. I think I got a ruler here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. So let's see. I'm gonna say about what, 9 inches maybe? Oh no, look at that. It's all, yeah, about 9 and a quarter. I'd say about 9 and a quarter. So that's a pretty decent little dude there. So I think that'll work out. Nice. Alrighty, so that's what we got going on. I would definitely call that a success, so we'll give that a thumbs up. If you're watching this, please like and subscribe to the channel. That will help with the algorithm and doing more stuff, because that's what you do on YouTube. So yeah, that is really, really interesting. Let me go ahead and set this up here. Move this around, change this, and kind of put some light on the subject. So anyway, yeah, so what we ended up doing is finishing up our print of our Raven. So yeah, this ends up being pretty big. I mean, if we go from tail to the longest part of this, we got 12 inches, maybe 12 and a half, measuring this way. But yeah, this turned out really good. I'm really, really happy with this. And especially since this is the longest print that I've done with the K2 Plus. Really, really happy with this. So many people have had problems with the K2 Plus, and I think a lot of that stems from the bad handling during shipping. How can I say this? Or why can I say this? Well, the reason I can say this is because I'm an American expat living in Korea, and the thing is, package handlers and delivery people here in Korea are they take more pride in their job here than in the United States. In the United States, we've seen videos with the FedEx, UPS, DHL, all those guys and gals, pushing packages and kicking them over, throwing them onto porches, and just not giving a damn about the things that they're delivering. And the thing is, that is really odd, because in places like the United States, Australia, UK, and other places who have similar videos of their delivery people just beating up packages, and then people order the Creality K2 Plus, and they're like, oh, I've had so many problems, it's a terrible printer. And it comes down to it, I was really nervous about that, because I was like, bad printer. I don't want that. I want it, because I live in Korea. I want a good printer. But then when I looked at all the reviews of the Creality K2 Plus here in Korea, it ended up that I think there was one that had a problem. And that was because it had, I can't even remember what the problem was, but it was a defective part inside the printer itself. And it was some like a board or something with the display or something. It didn't turn on. And so I think it was the display. But they got a new display and everything worked after that. But all of the other ones, nobody has complained about it. And I think it comes down to the delivery people in how they deliver packages. So in other words, here in Korea, it ends up when they deliver stuff, they get rated and they get reviewed. Reviews are big here in Korea, and I'm talking about big. Bad reviews can be detrimental to your business, and a lot of these delivery people, they're like contractors. They get their own truck and then they contract with a company to, hey, I'm going to deliver, I'll work for you. And so they load up their trucks and then they go deliver all this stuff. But the pride that they take in delivering the packages, I showed a picture of my K2 Plus box when it got here, and people are like, wow, that box is pristine. You know, it it looks like it was rolled off the assembly line, minus a little bit of dirt from some other boxes being on top. But I mean, there was no damage to the feet. There was no kicks or indentations on the cardboard or anything like that. And so it really got to the point of where it was like, I'm convinced that 80, maybe even 90% of the problems of the that people have with the K2 Plus is due to rough handling during shipping. And I can also attest this not only because I live in Korea and they deliver things differently. When I was in the United States, I worked at a UPS facility for a while. And I can tell you firsthand, there's some good drivers, good delivery people, but then there's also more people than you would think that rough handle packages. And I was just kind of amazed at how it really bothered me on how some of these drivers handled packages. I've seen people kick stuff off of the conveyor belt or off the dock, and it would land on the floor or hard concrete, and then or throwing it into the truck because they're in a rush and they're trying to hurry. Some people just don't give a damn. That's the way that is. So yeah, based off of those two things, which is, I know it's small, but I think that's why a lot of problems happen with printers, 3D printers, and things that need calibrated, things that have electronics components, especially something as big as a 3D printer, because those things are huge, and the heavier a package is, it ends up that the more apt you are for that to be damaged, because if it falls off a dock, if it falls off the truck, or somebody lifts it and then kind of throws it down or lets it down too hard, let it down too hard, that's why we see those problems with the K2 Plus. Getting the feet damaged, but I can tell you, I thought, well, it's got to be poor packaging. Really, it's not, because that was one of the things I was concerned about. And when you look at the packaging for the K2 Plus, they have the feet, they have a plastic corner piece that is about so thick, it's thick enough. And then there's cardboard, and then there's a thin piece of plywood, then there's more cardboard, and then there's more cardboard. So it really is packaged well. So for those people that have a damaged foot on their K2 Plus, part of that is because, let me get you back over here, because I want my latte. So, don't you love live videos? But like I said, I'm thoroughly convinced that the majority of the problems that people experience with their K2 Plus is because of poor handling. And when you have a machine and the gross weight of that package ends up being 90 to 100 pounds, because you're talking the K2 Plus, you're talking the CFS. The CFS is like almost 5 kilos, 4.5 kilos or whatever it is. And then, did my light just go out? Oh no. My battery-powered light went out. Let's see. I can get it to go back on. I guess not. Oh well. It is what it is. The joys of live streaming. But yeah, when you have something that weighs 100 pounds and it's a huge box, I can tell you right now that that is going to be problematic for delivery people. To get that box from in front of my apartment door, bringing it into the house, and scooting it, put a towel on the floor and then tipped it up and then put it down on the towel and then pushed it into the hobby room, and then lifted up onto the table that I had here when I did my unboxing. Good Lord, that thing was a beast. It would definitely be a two-person lift if I didn't go to the gym. But it's just so big and awkward and large that, yeah, I could easily see how delivery people would drop that package and how problematic that could be during delivery. So, yeah, just a lot of problems, I think, happen during delivery with the K2 Plus and larger items, and I think that's why we see so many problems. The other thing I think is because there are, I would say, maybe 3, maybe 5% deals. Well, I'd say 3%, 2 or 3% would probably be how the machine itself is built. So sometimes there's not enough slack in cabling, so it ends up connectors get pulled out of the sockets that they go to. We've seen some of those things. Uncle Jesse did a video where there was a cable, he had to replace a cable, and there's other people that I've seen, like on Reddit, showing where there's not enough cable in the strain, and then during, I guess, shipping, the rough handling, those things get pulled out. So very minor compared to originally what I had thought. And my whole worldview on Creality being a bad company, there is some justification for that, because like with their K1 and their K1 Max, and it ends up they advertised for that all metal extruder, and then it actually wasn't. Influencers and reviewers highlighted this, but they claimed, oh, good for 10,000 clog-free hours. But then they found out it's not all metal, and so it was like, okay, well, it's not all metal, so what do we? How did you get that number? So I think there's, they're playing with the numbers a little bit when it came to that. But so that's why I was hesitant. That's why I didn't get the K1 or the K1 Max or the K1 series. But when they came out with the K2 Plus, I was like, you know what? Despite seeing all the problems and living in Korea and seeing 99.99% of the people leaving glowing reviews on the K2 Plus, I decided to take a gamble. And yeah, so we got this 15 hour and 26-minute print of our Raven. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So I'm kind of wondering where I'm going to put this. Like I said, this is the first long print that I've done. No problems whatsoever. I thought I was going to run out of filament, but it ends up that I didn't. So that'll be kind of an interesting little thing there as well. And I'm trying to learn how to estimate for the filament that you have left. Now, the good thing about the CFS, for those people that are wondering, should I just get the K2 Plus by itself or should I get the combo? Because some people who have messaged me ask me, well, I'm not going to do multicolor printing, so why waste the money on a CFS? The CFS, the Creality filament system, ends up is that, yeah, you can use it for multicolor printing, and if you're doing big batches, so in other words, if you're filling up that build plate with 20 or 30 models, little models, and they do the color changes, the more items you have on the build plate, you're going to maximize your print capability, but minimize the amount of waste that you're going to have by purging those colors. And the only way that you're going to get around that and reducing that waste to the point of where it's the best that you can be would be buying the Prusa XL with the 5 print heads. But with that aside, I like the CFS system because let's say I'm only going to print in one color. I can print in one color, whether gray or black or whatever it is, and then I'm going to paint whatever items. I can do that and then seal it with a varnish, a satin or glass varnish or matte varnish. Um, that CFS system, I can run large prints and have multiple spools of the same material. So when one spool runs out, it'll automatically change to the next spool. So you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about, oh, it stopped in mid print and now I have to, and that is really a nice benefit to have. So the CFS system, it's good. Let's see. Lorianne Brown Art says, I got my Creality High combo yesterday and it's amazing. Not heavy like the K2. Wow. Yeah. And that's, wow. Yeah. And that is something that I was looking at. And that combo comes with a CFS as well. Creality High. And how much does that come out for? So we'll just check the interwebs. So we're looking at, no, I don't want to buy from the EU. So in USD, we're talking about the Creality High combo, which is kind of like the A1 for Bambu, $519. But if you just get the High by itself, it's $369, so $370. That's not bad. 519 for the combo. So that is pretty good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, 519. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, and here's the one thing that I did find out is with Creality, when I signed up, you can sign up and get their newsletters and stuff like that. If you put some, like with the K2 Plus, I looked at it, I put it into the shopping cart, and then a week or two later, I got emails saying, hey, you left something in your cart, and they offered a discount. And even if you do their live chat, let me see if I can bring this up. I wonder if it still has it. So, yeah, there. Let's check around. So here is, yeah, there's a Creality High, which is $519 for a combo. That is awesome. So if you open up the chat, it says, can I have a discount? And then click the button, get human service, and a human agent will handle. The interesting thing is that, yeah, you can run that route. I'm not going to do that. But what I did find out is like with the email, I would get emails and say, hey, do you want 5%? Do you want 10% off? So put something, make an account, put something into the cart and wait. Of course, you got to sign up for the newsletter. And ever since I did that, I've had like 4 or 5 different offers of discounts, 5, 10% discount. I think there's even a 15 at one time, if I'm not mistaken. But hell, a 10% discount is pretty good when you're talking about a K2 Plus or hell, even the Creality High. I mean, that's not bad at all. 10% discount. I'll take that. Any discount is good. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff going on with 3D printing, and yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, definitely, Lori, come on back and let us know how that Creality High works out and how well that works for you. I've seen some videos where people had problems with it. Again, I don't know if we toss that up to poor handling, but yeah. Lori says K series is too heavy for me. My print room is second floor and no way I could get it up the stairs. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, just trying to bring that, basically it's 100 pounds, because you're looking at the K2 Plus, you're looking at the CFS system, you're looking at 4 rolls of filament, and then all the packaging material and the toolbox and, all the stuff that comes with it. Support braces and all that stuff, you're looking at 100 pounds. And that was a pain to get into my house. And I kind of lift things in my spare time. So, Yeah, I wouldn't want to take it up a flight of stairs either. Thank God the delivery guy did it on a hand cart and brought it up to the seventh floor. But yeah, do I regret getting the K2 Plus? As of right now, no. It has been an awesome machine. I did have one clog, excuse me. I did have one clog in the nozzle that caused me angst because I was like, oh, here we go. This thing is gonna, gonna crash on me. It's gonna be a bad buy, the whole 9 yards. But really, I changed that nozzle out, and boom, it's been good to go since then. And again, doing longer prints like this, I am very happy. So yeah, I'll be doing some other big stuff, not only for me, but got some family members who want me to print out stuff, and I want to do a cosplay stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Just so much stuff to print in 3D printing. It's amazing. I mean, home, garden, organization, toys, fidget stuff, art, anything that you can make. It's just pretty incredible. Oriane says, I've had one jam error on the CFS so far, but resolved it. Yeah, cool, awesome. Yeah, the CFS system, I know there's some people that complained about it, uh, especially with the Bowden tubes. Some people were having problems with their CFS and they're getting certain errors. But when they replaced the Bowden tubes in the CFS, the ones that are underneath, like the four underneath, and the one that goes from the CFS to the printer, they replaced all those Bowden tubes with larger Bowden tubes, better quality ones, and all of those problems went away. So yeah, I mean that's not a big deal. Bowden tubes are inexpensive, and I get you're not going to go out and Creality's not going to buy the best of the best in Bowden tubes, but yeah, it's good to know. I haven't had any problems with my CFS. The only thing uh, I've run into is I think humidity errors, but then I've just printed with PLA, and I really wish the CFS was a heated uh, drying chamber / multi-material system. But it is what it is. I did order. What did I order? I ordered. No, it wasn't the CFS. Scanners, materials, accessories. I ended up getting the Creality. What is it? The Space Pi, I think it is. Engravers, no materials, accessories. Yeah, I ended up getting the Space Pi, and that's going to be, and I can't remember if it was the dual, because they have a two roll version. Let me check my orders. Yes, it was a two spool dryer, which I should be picking up here pretty soon. So let me see if I can get this. And it took a while. I actually ordered from Amazon and had it delivered. But yeah, that's the Creality Space 2 Pi, and yeah, filament heater, the whole 9 yards, heating box, dehydrator, ABS, PTD, PLA, all of that. That is something that was recommended. And I figured with the two spool dryer, if I'm going to do larger prints, I can dry those things out, throw them into the CFS, and I'll be good to go with that. So, but then there was another company that came out with a 4-spool dryer. But again, I mean, why wouldn't you make the CFS a dryer? They had that chance to do that. Maybe they'll do it on the next one. I don't know. But that'll be an interesting little thing. 360-degree hot air heating dry, 48-hour timer function. Nice. Parameters, power on, material. After a power outage, machine can restart and remember your previous material and temperature settings, eliminating the need for resetting. Nice, kind of like that resume power or resume after power loss. Yeah, that looks really good. I'm really looking, I should be picking that up this weekend. So yeah, looks good. And it can do compatible with multiple diameter filaments, 1.75 and 2.85. Good to know, but I'm not going to need that. Lorianne says, I only print in PLA and have never needed to dry filament. Yeah, that's the only thing I've printed so far is with PLA. But I've used the CFS, and of course, there's the desiccant packs that came with the CFS system, and I've got some more reusable desiccant. What is it? That dry and dry. What is it? Premium orange indicating silica gel beads or whatever. So put more of that in there. Printed out a desiccant holder for that. So add more desiccant. I've been getting even just with the included desiccant packs with the CFS, my humidity has been like anywhere from 10 to 12, 13%. And I've never had any problems with the PLA. Of course, it's the easiest thing to print with. But when we're going to do I got some PETG that I'm going to do, so I'll need to dry that out. But yeah, nice to be able to have a dryer and then, of course, have some storage bags or something like that, dry it out, seal it up. And yeah, it just seems to be a good thing. So Lori, what do you print out? You say you print out some stuff, but what do you print out? Is it just hobby stuff for you, or do you do a side gig stuff, or both? That'd be kind of interesting. Right now, I'm just doing hobby stuff for myself and family members, but I'm considering on doing like print service stuff. Because where I'm at, I'm close to a U.S. military base. My customers would be U.S. service members and their families. I'm retired military, so it kind of feels at home. But if somebody provides a file, I could print that stuff out, charge, for the filament, the time, and all that. Lorianne says, my Etsy shop is primarily miniature displays for craft and dollhouse displays. Oh, really? Cool. Oh, that's neat. Because I print out miniatures on my resin printing. Of course, probably it'd be have Sauron in a little dollhouse furniture. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. So I'm thinking about doing stuff like that. Maybe not doing an Etsy store, but just doing more local work in regards to print service for resin printing and FDM printing. So, but I'm already getting the itch to get another machine because as this was printing out, I'm like, there's so much other stuff I want to print. I need another machine. And I'm like, oh no, it's like crack. So, yeah, crack it is. So I don't know. It's just fun stuff. Let's see, what else did I got on order? Nozzle cleaning kit. I picked up one of those. The desiccant, the Creality Space Pie for the 2-reel. I have some Bowden tubes coming in. I got some mini hydrometers, humidity meters. I got some PC4, M10, and M6 Bowden tube connectors because I printed out another piece for the K2 Plus, so that'll help with that. So I could use the side spool and it automatically will go in so I don't have to remove Bowden tubes from the buffer on the K2 unit, which would, eventually break. It's not meant to, those connectors are not meant to have those lines taken in and out multiple times. You're just supposed to put it in there. It's a pneumatic pressure fitting type thing. So that's not what that was intended for, of taking it in and out all the time. And I got two big spools, two 2 kilogram spools of Creality PETG. So I got to make some stuff for myself and, another heating ceramic block kit for the K2 Plus. And yeah, I got 2 pieces of gear extrusion for the K2 Plus, just to have some spares. And yeah, and then another extruder front cover, regional upgrade extruder kit. I've got some of that and we'll see. It's an addiction. Lori says, it's an addiction. The high is my eighth. Holy crow. Wow. What other machines do you have besides the Creality High? I'd be interested in knowing that. For me, I started off with resin printing, so I have the Saturn 3 Ultra, and then I got the wash and cure station. I've got a paint booth that I do painting with, and so I've got that going for me. And now that I've got the K2 Plus, I need to get a table because that folding table just rocks too much. But I'm thinking about getting another machine, especially if I'm going to do a print service. Tying up one printer with a big print and not being able to print other stuff, I do see kind of the need of getting another one. But I'm kind of leaning towards, I don't know, that Creality High looks pretty good. Lori says, original Ender 3, going old school with the old 3. 3 CR6SE, CR10 V2 Pro, 2 Ender 3 B3 Plus, and a high combo, all Creality. Wow, cool. Interesting. So I guess since all of those, I'm assuming all those machines work. So that's probably a good thing. But yeah, the high is a consideration. I'm looking at Prusa, the core one, which looks interesting. This, of course, the Centauri Carbon. Those are the ones that stand out for me right now. But even, I don't know, maybe even the high, or a high like, kind of like the Bambu A1 or A1 Mini type of thing. But again, I'm just not a Bambu person. I don't like that locked ecosystem. But wow, cool. That looks interesting. Hey, Lori, if you want to if you want to put in comment with your Etsy store link, go ahead and put that in the comment section, and people will take a look at what you got. The Ender 3 I got in 2017 and have been printing ever since. The print quality on the high is truly amazing, and I agree on Bambu. Yeah, it's locking down that ecosystem under the guise of safety and security. And it's like, I don't know, I've never seen or heard anybody or read any threads of, wild hackers, uh, people saying that wild groups of hackers have hacked into their machines, their Bambu machines, and printed, rubber duckies or whatever in the middle of the night without them knowing. That whole safety and security thing is a ruse. And I don't like that. And working in security electronics, yeah, I saw through that. It was like, yeah, you got to be kidding me. That's a bunch of BS. So, but yeah, that's what we got going on. So anyway, successful first long print with the Creality K2 Plus. We did our Raven, and I might even put them up there in the corner, looking down, seeing if what we're doing is cool. And yeah, we'll do some more prints. Eventually, I'm going to start. The one big project I want to do, like I said, is cosplay armor. I probably should do it in foam, but we're looking at like Warhammer, big stuff. So I don't know. I definitely do the weapons and stuff like that. And the helmet, obviously, you're going to do that, and you could do it in foam. But printing helmets out on a large scale printer, hey, go that route. So I'm kind of wondering on which way to go with that. So I'd like to, I'm old. I'm 58, but I'd like to do one big cosplay armor thing, and just big, huge, and outlandish. And I think Warhammer 40,000. There's a couple of suits that I'm looking at that, yeah, I might do that. So we'll see. But anyway, that's what we got going on. It is 20 March here in Korea, Thursday at approximately 8:45 in the morning. So for you in the United States, I'm assuming it's 5, 6, 7-ish or somewhere around there, depending on where you live. But I think this is going to be it for today because I finished up my latte. And it's time for breakfast because I'm starving. So again, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Lori, awesome. Lori, be sure you leave your link to your Etsy store in the comment section so people can check that out. I know a lot of people frown on people self-promoting. I don't really care about that. I think if you're, if you're happy with what you're doing and you're providing a service, go ahead and feel free, put that Etsy store link in the comment section so people can take a look at that. I would appreciate that. With that said, yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. And if it's in your heart and you want to buy me a coffee, there's a link in the description box. You can do that. Not needed, not required, but some awesome people have bought me lattes. So with that, we're going to sign off and finish this up. I appreciate everybody showing up, and I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, and he really appreciates you with what you did and everything. And thanks for watching. Peace. I got to figure out how to turn this off. There we go.